Many thanks for staying with us. 2023 elections, like I told you in the opening, just a few months away. What should we expect as citizens? Well, sitting close to me right here in the studio is Dr. Jude Obasani. He is a civil activist. Dr. Jude, good morning.
Good morning.
And next to him is Comrade Emmanuel Obidi. Comrade, good morning.
Good morning and good morning, viewers.
Okay, I'll be starting with Comrade Jude. Nigerians have always expressed displeasure in the electoral process. Do you think they can trust the INEC come 2023?
First of all, Nigerians are good at, after making a particular move, we go back and begin to say, if we had known. I believe that what has happened for the past couple of years, particularly the last 7 years or 8 years, Nigerians must have known that it's high time we begin to actually profile these guys that want to come and rule us and see whether actually they have the interest of the people. But in terms of INEC's performance, if we want to console ourselves with the last 2 government elections that took place recently, of which are both parties, those that won and those that also lost the elections, were to an extent comfortable if they still went to court. I'll say that to an extent, people should have some level of confidence. But there's a major concern now that is going on now that has to do with the appointment of resident electoral commissioners.
Okay. That
has not been done up till now. So the names that were presented, you know, some of us came out to say that, sorry, this man, this woman have some, they are big partisan in the way they conduct their affairs. Some of them belong to 1 or 2 political parties. So it's now left for us now to continue to engage them. But one that is very fundamental, for which we need to begin to call on government for, is for them to see how they can provide the necessary funds for procurement. Recall what happened in the last election, in the national election. We were told that days, weeks to the election, we were unable to procure the sensitive materials. So Nigeria may not want a case whereby those materials are not ready, and when it's time for the election, we begin to have those kind of challenges or problems. But however, let them go ahead and study all the reports that we have presented to government in terms of observing past elections. I was involved in the election, in observing elections for past some years now. Okay. I will normally come up with reports to advise INEC on how they can scale up the game. So if they can take one of those reports, you know, I think it would be good for us. So Nigerians should, for once, try to build that composite belief that definitely INEC might get it right again this time around.
INEC might get it right again. Now, let me quickly come to Comrade Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Looking at the 4 major contenders, the PDP, APC, Labour Party, and NNPP, and all that. We have other parties. We have other political parties. Do you think we have a candidate that got what it takes to take Nigeria to the next phase that we are all clamoring for?
Okay, thank you very much. Before I go to that very question, let me just add to what my brother have said. Yes, Nigerian, to a large extent, looking at the Osun and Ekiti election, might, want to try to trust INEC. But I will also fail to put this into perspective. INEC, ideally, without any political influence, will perform and deliver a credible, free, fair election.
Being an electoral umpire.
Exactly. Without a political influence and undertone. Mr. President was speaking in the last UN General Assembly, and he said that he is going to ensure he conducts a free, fair, and credible election before he leaves office. That is a statement. And many people are beginning to take it as a political hyping. Let me tell you the truth that a free, fair, and credible election is not a gift to Nigerians. It's the right of Nigerians to have a free, fair, and credible election. So we demand nothing from this government than to remove their hands from the electoral agencies and every other agencies that are saddled with the responsibility of providing good proper election in this country, for them to do their job properly.
But if Mr. President is promising to give us a free, fair election, his party, he has actually promised that he's going to lead his party to victory. So how do we strike a balance?
Good. So it should go beyond statements in the UN General Assembly. He should walk his talk. He should monitor his aides and all of that who are capable one way or the other, and his party men. Because we now build men that are bigger than institutions in this country, not to interfere, not to influence, and not to engage INEC to do what is not proper in this election. So INEC should be given the free hand, and like my brother have said, the necessary tools, mobilization to do the job, and INEC will deliver a good and a proper election for this country. That is what he owes us. I haven't failed economically, I haven't failed in terms of security, I haven't failed in terms of education, I haven't failed in all fronts.
The government is doing
he's failing in terms of I'm coming, sir. He's failing in terms of electoral reforms. So 2023 will determine whether we also say he has failed.
He signed the electoral bill into law
because Nigerians compared him. It took 200 million Nigeria to be on Mr. President in order for him to sign the Electoral Act 2022, which is not good enough. That body language is already enough for us to begin to suspect him. So his declaration or his statement in UN General Assembly is not enough for us to turn our eyes away from Mr. President or political influence on INEC. So we want to tell those that are saddled with the responsibility of our leaders to allow INEC do their job, and then Nigeria can trust them. Then back to your question. You see, in 2023 election, sir, if you look at the persons who are coming out, to me personally, I would say the issue of competence will not really be an issue, because taking a microscopic look into these four persons,
they've been in
I will tell you that there's none of them that fall short in terms of what it takes to rule this country generally. Now, I will have that as a general note. We will now begin to narrow into certain other criteria and indices that Nigerians must look out for. Okay? Now, let's look at the issue of age. You must be physically healthy before you can provide leadership for a country that is as complex as Nigeria.
Okay.
You must be physically fit. You must be intellectually balanced. You must be emotionally balanced. By so speaking, we don't want a situation like what we saw in the outgoing government, where our president will be missing for over 6 months and turning billions of naira to the UK for medical allowance, having failed to restore and to put our health sector in the proper perspective and proper suiting that can serve Nigeria and our health needs. So that is one. Then two, we also look at the intellectual capacity of those individuals. The Nigerians should be able to take them through the meals. It is going to be beyond telling us what you want to do. No, we have gone past through that era. What you want to do no longer work. Tell us what you want to do, and tell us how you will do it. And you also tell us when you will do it. Because beyond what you will do, anybody can say, you see, when I come, I'll build stadium at the center of the sea. When I come, I'm going to ensure that I end ABC. I'm going to show Oil become a thing of the past. No. How will you do it? And at what point in your administration will you get this done? Take, for example, you say, when I come into office, I'm going to, for 40 million Nigeria youth that are unemployed, I'm going to employ 20 million. When? Okay. And how will you do it? So if we take Nigeria, if we take these candidates through this crucible, through this analysis, then we will see who is selling, because none of them has told us in clear terms, none of them has told Nigeria something different from what politicians have been saying. Okay. So we cannot say this is what we are looking at now. So when they begin to tell us what they will do, we will ask them how they will do it and when they will do it.
Thank you, Comrade Emmanuel. Let's come to Comrade Jude. You heard his submission, but I want to stretch the discussion a little further. We've seen large numbers of youths clamoring for change, throwing their weight behind a certain candidate. Do you think that will send a wrong signal to the old order of politicians?
Okay, thank you very much. I think we commend the good part of the NSAS engagement, which actually showed to Nigerians that Nigerian youth, sorry, they are not that lazy. It's just that they've not been able to get somebody who will come to say, fine, let me be your arrowhead to lead you out of this impoverishment, to lead you out of this organized slavery that currently being passed through. But my concern, my worry is this, not all this movement. See, it's not a matter of youth coming out, oh, we support candidate B, candidate B. What will happen on the day of the election? What is the level of mobilization? You see, most of all these fun fairs going around, mobilization of young people, takes place more in the cities. I was privileged to be part of a team that is currently monitoring political campaigns, going on now. I realized that most of all these campaigns, for the younger ones, are more in the cities. Benin City, maybe Ekpoma, Irua. But in the suburbs, where the real voting in quotes now takes place now, the consciousness there is not as powerful as what you see in the city.
Yeah, okay.
So I strongly believe that for the youth to actually take the man of leadership is critical now, because one, like what he said, for you to become a leader of Nigeria, a president, you must have all it takes, because now everything is ICT driven. You cannot be attending meeting and you do not have all the necessary tools for you to effectively engage. And with some of them that we are seeing now, they cannot sustain a meeting that will last for more than 1 hour or 2 hours. And now you have meetings that might even last longer than that, and they expect to be on the internet, doing some level of engagement. So coming back, I strongly believe that the young person now must go a step further. Thank God that most of them went ahead to get their PVCs. And if you look at the percentage of young people that got their PVCs now, you begin to ask yourself, where were these people?
And some were deleted.
I'm coming. Must you wait for issues to hit you on your face before you begin to complain? Some of them went to go and register. And what number of them have cleared their PVCs? Recall all these conventional politicians, they have their cells in all these villages. I went to community one day and someone said, no, we never party A. No, we never party B. And we tried to find out more. What is the decision of the young people? Young people in that community, and they said, it is where our leaders tell us to go. That's where we go to. So we must begin leaving the social media to ensure that we engage our people. All these politicians, they have the funds.
Okay.
That on that day of election, a young man will say, no, we no go do, I want to do this. They will just come and say, you take this, take that. What happened in Lagos during this little engagement they had for one of the candidates? As low as 500 naira, people came out to join the rally procession. And like somebody said some time ago, they have collected gas in Abuja during the
primaries election.
Now, brother, don't disturb me. It's my turn to collect my 10K and my 20K.
Okay.
Because they have gone ahead now to impoverish Nigerians. That day of election, we just pray does not happen. That these young persons now that have a lot of fire on them will not say because of 10,000 naira or 10,000 and begin to sell their money. At the end of the day, they now begin to regret, which is conventional in Nigeria. Okay,
we'll get back to you. Comrade Emmanuel, from his submission, do you think vote buying is something we cannot tackle as a nation?
Well, you see,
vote buying and money politics.
Now, the truth is this: we have to face reality. Politics in Nigeria is expensive. As a matter of fact, I was listening to somebody. He said there are 4 ways to win elections in Nigeria. He said number 1 is money. He said number 2 is money. Number 3 is money.
Absolutely, you need
and number
money.
4, more money.
More money. Okay.
Now, the truth is that we might not be able to stop the use of money, because the truth still remains. Our agencies that are saddled with the responsibility of tackling economic and financial crimes that has to do that very recently we want to classify vote buying into such crime. Now, has to give a different approach to the issue of curbing vote buying. You don't go to the field on election day to curb vote buying, sir. Now they just did primaries. Billions of dollars went into primaries, political primaries. Where did those money pass through?
Delegates were cashed
Yeah,
out.
they tracked. They were at the field that day of election. They did not see one that are moving through hands. So that is to tell you that this money will not come physically. Okay. Then let's go to the day of election. It will be sad for you to be arresting a Nigerian who took 5,000. 5,000 is not economic crime.
Okay.
For vote. Now, money in 2015, 700 million naira entered into Edo State.
Okay, Comrade Emmanuel.
In 2015, for an election purpose. He entered into the hands of a pastor in this state. And one man with big tummy in a donut.
Okay, Comrade Emmanuel.
Was it tracked?
Comrade Emmanuel.
And that money will go into various local governments. It is at those points you track those money, not on the field that day.
Thank you
so much. Our electoral system should know. Our electoral umpires and our security agencies should look into that aspect in curbing vote buying.
Thank you so much, Comrade Emmanuel. I'm afraid we have to stop at this point. Comrade Jude, thank you for coming. Comrade Emmanuel, we will still have more time on the show together. Thank you so much. This is where we'll be drawing the curtain for TMI Wednesday morning edition. Daniel Praiz is still my name on behalf of the entire crew members. I want to thank you for being part of the show. Up next is Business Rendezvous with Dennis Ofik.